Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. My name is Kashful Ilahi. I am a born Muslim. So ever since I was 4, I knew the existence of God, but I didn't know who Allah was. And I think after searching for so long, I think only recently, like when I was 19, I really had the courage to seek that connection because I always felt like God existed, but I didn't know Allah. So the first step towards that connection was actually buying an online guided prayer mat, those with like the English transliteration, and that's how I started my journey into praying. Yeah, that's how I sort of like found that connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Growing up, I know my family was practicing, but I was never really taught Islam. Like I wasn't attending any classes. I didn't know how to read the Quran, um, and no one was really around much to teach me how to pray or teach me how to really like build that connection with Allah. And I think most of my life has been a very like independent journey, which I'm also very thankful for, Alhamdulillah. So everything up till now, I can say it's truly that loneliness, but that loneliness is sweet because it's that time where I'm alone, but only with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it felt very intimate. The connection is very intimate because no one else knows. Like my parents, they don't know my relationship with God. My sisters don't know my relationship with God. So when I think I was 18, it was the first time I went to the mosque, and because it was after O levels and I had a bit of time and it was during Ramadan also. So I went to the mosque every day and I tried like learning the movements, like practicing the movements, like memorizing how it is. And one time I got so overwhelmed, like I cried, not because I was pious or anything, but because I was genuinely so tired. Like I did 20 rakats, but I didn't know it was 20 rakats. I didn't know units of prayer. I didn't know anything. I was like, so when I did 20 rakats, I didn't know. I thought I was just supposed to follow and follow. And then my knees really started to hurt because I'm not used to it, right? And I cried, but not because I felt a connection, but truly because my knees were just aching. And in that pain, I realized that what am I here for? Like, what am I seeking for? Why do my knees hurt and I'm okay with it? Why am I continuing to do this? And that's when I realized that I really truly wanted that connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That I don't care how much pain I have to go through if it means that I have some sort of connection, some sort of thread pulling me back to Him. I think last year I was going through something really, really tough. And when I went to, masjids to pray and everything, then I realized there was this lady sitting beside me and she told me that certain things I was doing like during prayer was not right, and she was correcting me, and I was very grateful for her guidance, alhamdulillah. It's just that that was a point where I realized that I need to rely on someone. I cannot just be learning everything on my own. It's not how it's supposed to work. So I started attending classes at Darul Arkam, and then here and there I started to build a community. I didn't really have friends who were Muslims until last year when I started attending more classes and those events at Masjid Al Falah, or basically those community events where you get to see a lot of like Muslimas and they'll be discussing about hijrah and hijab and all sorts of things. But I felt like my basics were really lacking, and that's when I started coming for Ustaz Samir's classes. I found out about Ustaz Samir's classes, I think about this year in early May. I found his classes through a sister, Sister Neha. So shout out to Sister Neha. Uh, and then I realized, wow, I really don't know much. I don't know anything, as a matter of fact. So I'm just here to learn. And I'd say my whole journey as a Muslim has been constantly seeking. Like I always knew God existed. Like I knew God existed ever since I was 4. I would go up to like my window and be like, Ya Allah, please give me this, please give me that. And that's when I knew that God existed, there was a higher power. But seeking that connection or building that connection didn't come so easy for me because I did not have that surrounding or that stepping stones in a sense. And being born as a Muslim is already such a privilege that many of us fail to recognize. And when I realized that I'm born a Muslim, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already made me one step closer to Him. And how can I even take advantage of that? How can I, like, when I hear the adhan, how can I not immediately go and pray? It's like my Lord is calling upon me and I do not respond to Him. What kind of servant am I? You know? And if I don't fast, what kind of servant am I? How can I be so ungrateful to a Lord that has given me everything? He gave me guidance when I didn't even ask for it, you know? He gave me so many things that I didn't even ask for or I didn't even know I needed. He knew what I needed before I even knew it, you know? And I think that's one of the most beautiful things that I've come to realize that is that he knows before you do and he gives it to you or he like finds a way to give it to you before you even seek for it. I think that's what's like the most beautiful and revelation to me is that he's always there. You just have to take that one step towards him. So I'm of course no one to like give advice or anything, but I can share that um, he is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the all knowing, he's the all seeing, and whatever is done to him, I would say just turn to him. Even if you don't know who he is, turn to him. Even if you know who he is, even better, turn to him in gratitude, turn to him in despair, turn to him. He will always have a door open for you. I think you just have to be brave enough. You don't have to be ready. You just have to be brave enough to tell yourself that you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it, and it's going to be with the intention of for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's pleasure, not for the community, but for Allah. It's not for your mom, it's not for your dad, it's not for your husband, or anyone, not for your friends. You just have to say this is what you want, and you want to be close to Allah for your sake. If you are someone who is sincerely seeking for guidance or a community, any sort of knowledge, you can come down to Masjid Abdul Kafur on Tuesday and Friday evenings, and Saturdays at Wat Tanjong Mosque in the afternoons. We hope to see you there. Bijai Sayyidina Muhammad Mustafa Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.